Hey, my creepers, it's Creepy Nessie here, and so first off, I have to say is wow. I posted that video and it already has at least 100 views, so that's amazing, and thank you so much for stopping by and watching it, and thanks for the follows. I increased by 6 followers, so that's pretty awesome. I gotta say, it's honestly nerve-wracking, but exciting at the same time that you wanted to listen to this voice and wanted to see what I say. So thank you. I appreciate it a lot. If that video made you want to go watch Ginger Deadman and also Attack of the Killer Donuts, then awesome. Then again, like I said, you can blame me, but at the same time, you can't blame me because I did tell you about the movie. Okay? Okay? But we are back again, and this time we are not going to talk about a B-rated movie. In my opinion, this movie actually did really well, and I like the story of it. I like the legend of it. And of course, this movie went on with 4 movies and also had its own comic issues. This is a monster horror. As we know, in horror movies, there is genres within them. We got sci-fi horror, we got supernatural horror, comedy horror, monster horror, and the list does go on. So we're gonna go ahead and dive into monster horror today. So whenever you hear about monster horror, what is the first thing that comes into your mind? Is it like Jeepers Creepers? Is it vampires, werewolves, the Blob? Like, I'm really curious to know what is the first thing that comes in your mind. Here, I'm gonna give you a moment. Okay, moment's over. Literally, this movie does not come in my mind. That's why I put Jeepers Creepers down, because Jeepers Creepers is literally the first thing that comes to my head when I say monster. Because if you have not seen any of the Jeepers Creepers, like, at least see the first 2. The ones that came after that were not my favorite, honestly. I'm gonna tell you a little something though. So Jeepers Creepers, I watched it when I was a kid. And my grandfather, he's been living in this house for years, but he moved in with my mom now. But right across from this house, there is this warehouse, and it's like an abandoned, but on the side of it, there is this tube that goes down onto the ground, and it reminds me just like the Jeepers Creepers whenever they saw the tube on the ground, and whenever they were trying to speak through it, it echoed through, and then, they fell in it. I kid you not, my uncles scared the hell out of me trying to tell me, oh, Jeepers Creepers is in there, Jeepers Creepers. Okay, again, I was a kid. Okay? It's not like my uncle who was scared of Snuggles because of MTV. He's probably gonna hate me saying that out loud, but whatever. Then I fell in love with Jeepers Creepers. I don't know. I'm not gonna say he's cute. I'm just saying that now. He is no. But he is the first thing that comes out with monster. So in horror history, monster is either created, summoned, or simply found. The movie we are about to talk about is a legend, and even if you haven't seen these movies, I'm pretty sure you heard the name somewhere before, even if your parents might have seen this movie as well, because the first one did come out in 1988. So I'm pretty sure that you've seen it sometimes or seen your parents watch it. So I'm gonna go ahead and give you a little hint on this poem, okay? So listen carefully, okay, guys? Listen carefully. Keep away from Pumpkinhead unless you are tired of living. His enemies are mostly dead. He is mean and unforgiving. Laugh at him and you're undone. But it's some dreadful fashion, vengeance, he considers fun. And it plans it with a passion. Time will not erase our plot. A plot he has been brewing. It's when you think you forgot. He'll conjure your undoings. Guard dogs prowling in the yard won't protect you in your bed. Nothing will. From Pumpkinhead. So yes, guys, we are gonna be talking about Pumpkinhead. See, I'm pretty sure y'all heard of it. And like I said, it has 4 movies. So the first one we got is Pumpkinhead, Pumpkinhead 2, Blood Wings, Pumpkinhead Ashes to Ash, and Pumpkinhead Blood Feud. 1, 3, and 4 are most loyal to each other, but the second one, it kind of goes off a little bit off topic, and I'll explain why later. But Pumpkinhead is also known as the Demon of Vengeance, and he's not Batman. He will kill you. He's gonna kill you. So Pumpkinhead is, I guess the way, I will put a picture right here to how he looks like, but in a way you can describe him as like a pale skin, large head with multiple lumps, pale white eyes, and very reptilian kind of look. I guess you can say he kind of looks like the Alien Queen. And I believe the same person who made the costume for the Alien Queen is the same person who made the costume for Pumpkinhead. I'm not completely sure on that. I think I did read somewhere to where it's kind of like that. Is completely hairless and he has a large mouth with like human-like teeth. So Pumpkinhead, the demon who can be conjured by a summoner to exact vengeance on anyone who's wronged them by viciously and painfully killing them. The targets are marked for death and no matter where they go, Pumpkinhead will find them. As marked ones die, the summoner will begin to feel physical and emotional pain that the victim of Pumpkinhead that he has killed. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the first movie. The first movie came out, like I previously said, it came out in 1988. So the lead person, his name, he plays Ed, and his actual name is Lance Henriksen, and he is actually very known in a lot of movies. Let's see, on top of my mind, I could say he was in the Alien movies. He was in Powder. I'm not sure if you've ever seen that movie. If you haven't, definitely watch it. It's not a horror movie, but it is a good movie. He was also in Stung for another horror movie. He did voice someone in Tarzan, I believe. I'm not sure who exactly, but he did voice someone. And Terminator, he was in Terminator. He was in a lot of movies. I'm not going to list all movies he was in. Lance plays Ed. Ed ends up going into the woods to find the witch who can conjure up Pumpkinhead because a bunch of teenagers, city folk, went to his shop. One of the guys was kind of ignorant, kind of like an ass. And of course, it was his brother came over there to do some photo shoot. Him and his brother were driving out. The little boy, his name was Billy. He had a dog named Gypsy. Well, because you know how loud dirt bikes are, the dog decided to go and bark at him, investigate what's going on. Billy was scared of the dog being hurt, so he started running after them. The dirt bikes were coming over on the side and they jumped off a cliff. The brother missed him by an inch, but then the ignorant one hit him right on and he was badly injured. He did not die right then and there, but because of the ignorant one, apparently he was on probation, so he didn't want to call the cops. He didn't want to do anything. He just get on the car and go back to the cabinet that they were in. The brother, he seems like the very nice one. He knew that it was wrong to do that. He stayed with the little boy, but I don't even see why they didn't move him, pick him up or anything. I mean, I see why, because he might have more severe injuries, but at the same time, pick him up and take him to, the doctor's office. It looks like it was a very dirt remote place, so I'm not sure if there was doctors nearby. Brother decided to stay, wait for Ed to come back. Ed ran towards him and the boy was there laying down. The brother was telling him it was an accident. He looked at him like he was mad, like he could kill him right on the spot. Parents grieve with these horror movies. They would do anything to get revenge or give their kid justice, and they have every right to. But revenge in this way of reviving Pumpkinhead, that's definitely not a not thinking clear situation. In the beginning of the movie, you see Ed when he was a kid, and Pumpkinhead was already known because he was already summoned by this little girl's father who got killed by some guys around. So the son ends up dying in Ed's arms, and he takes him. He goes down to family. He asks him, like, where does the witch live? Because everyone knows about her. They know that she has special powers. The grandfather was like, I'm not going to deal with you. I'm not going to tell you. Just go bury your boy next to your wife. Just leave it. I'm sorry about your son, but don't do what you're going to do. So he didn't tell him where the crone lived. But then one of his grandson came up to him. Yeah, I'll show you where it's at for a price. So he gave him $10. I'm guessing back then that was a lot because it was just a remote place. And they were all working on the field. So he shows him where it's at. He only went halfway because he said that the crone gives him creepy feelings, which of course it does. If you see her, oh gosh, I'm going to show up a clip right here. She would scare me too, honestly. Whenever it comes to reviving a demon, there has to be blood that has been spilt. So either you get connected with it or you die for it and just let it kill. In this case, that you are getting connected to it by blood. Ed is with the crone and they're doing the ritual. She literally cuts his hand, like not even a warning. I would have been like, what the? Okay, thanks. Okay, thanks for the cut on my hand. It looked like a pretty deep cut. Then she cut the boy's arm and got his blood as well. Ed actually had to go to the cemetery to dig up the body that Pumpkinhead previously inhabited, give him to the crone, and she did, her whole little witchiness. He faints because there has to be like transition to where he feels whenever Pumpkinhead is coming back to life. All that situation, all that kabam, I'll put it in this clip right here. Pumpkinhead wastes no time and hurry up and goes and do his mission. He goes and do what he was summoned for. But Ed didn't know that he would be feeling everything that Pumpkinhead does and feels. That is the point of the blood bond. It's pretty much a contract. Literally made a deal with the devil. Pumpkinhead kills these kids off little by little. There is, of course, one survivor, which is this girl right here. Though the only way to kill Pumpkinhead is to kill the summoner. Ed knows that because whenever he was shooting down Pumpkinhead, he didn't go down. But once he accidentally got pitchfork stuck in his shoulder, he saw that Pumpkinhead reacted to the same thing. So then that's when he was like, finally, I know what I have to do. He goes to his truck, gets a gun out, and shoots his head. But the dude doesn't die. I don't know how, but he didn't die. So he gets up and, he's still like falling everywhere because, he has a bullet in his head. With that being said, though, the survivor decides to seize what's going on, and she picks up the gun and shoots him plain blank, and he dies because he's like, kill me. As soon as she ends it with him, then Pumpkinhead's body burns. So the thing about Pumpkinhead, though, is it's just a body he's inhabiting. He ends up going to the next body. In this case, though, Ed is the last body he actually stays on, because Ed, like I said, in the first, third, and fourth one, Ed is actually still going through. He's still like a ghost, pretty much. And that is the body that he's inhabiting all the time. The one weird thing about this is that because it's a bond, he's slowly turning into Pumpkinhead. He's slowly starting to get the glassy, smoky eyes and getting angry and demonic possession stuff happening right there. In the same time, Pumpkinhead starts getting normal, like he starts actually having a normal face. Like I'll do this and then before after, if you see this up here. So that was one weird thing. I haven't seen that again since in the other movies, but that was really weird. I kind of like that fact. I kind of wish they continued with that fact, but they didn't. They continued with the demon possession looking, but not with the changes of Pumpkinhead. But yeah, so that is like a short little review on what happened with the first Pumpkinhead. So the second one, like I told you, it's not really loyal to the first, third, or fourth one. This might sound a little weird. So the second one of Pumpkinhead, it's actually his son, and his name is Tommy. Tommy is appeared to be the son of Pumpkinhead, born as a result of Pumpkinhead mating with unknown female, not sure, but like the old crone in the first one, her name was Miss Olsey, and she ends up adopting Pumpkinhead's son. And in a weird way, she ends up sharing a familiar bond with Tommy. So it's like the bond between Pumpkinhead and a summoner, so they can like feel each other's pain and everything. Tommy ends up dying though because of bullying, because the way he looked, like I said, you see how Pumpkinhead looks. He has a lot of deformity. And because of Tommy being part of Pumpkinhead, he ends up being resurrected. So these teenagers find out about Pumpkinhead, and they literally go to Tommy's grave to dig him up. He goes on a killing spree like his father. And he makes the same murders because of the people who killed him. And I believe he is a little bit different, since in this case he is half human, so he does have some sort of mercy. When it comes to killing, he started feeling a little bit of guilt, I guess you can say. And unfortunately that he does get hurt with guns and other objects other than his father. His father is just like, oh, you got me? Cool. I'm gonna kill you. 1, 2, and 3, I did watch a lot more than the second one. The second one was like a one go for me, just because it was weird how it trovered off to him having a kid with an unknown female. Like, I'm not sure how, I don't even want to know how a demon, at least like that, will appropriate. So the third one and fourth one are pretty much the same thing. Same situation is that they know about Pumpkinhead. They revived him. He's killing. They start feeling guilty and, he's killing everyone. And so the thing about these are different though is that Ed, like I said, his soul, or like at least part of himself, keeps appearing in front of people, telling them like, you never can run. Pumpkinhead's always going to find you. Even if he dies, he'll come back and he'll still hunt you. So you're pretty much cursed for life. You have a mark on your head for life. And in the third one, the mortuary, he was selling organs of loved ones before disposing the body in like a swamp. Whenever, you know, Pumpkinhead was revealed that he got summoned by like, I think it was 3 people, but it was connected more to the desperate mom whose son was one of the victims. Like at the same time, the doctor found out that he could kill the summoners to kill the demon before anything gets out of hand, which I'm glad, you know, he got motionary, because that's horrible. That's so inhumane to do that. Pumpkinhead 4 was called Blood Feud. So it was actually the final installment of the series. It was in 2007. The film began with 2 men on a motorcycle driving away from Pumpkinhead. One of the men got hit by a tree branch, fell off his motorcycle, and of course, people don't like to get back up really quickly because they're injured or they're just scared at the wit's end. And one of them does end up surviving. So the surviving man, he ends up going to where the one who conjured him and begged him to call off the demon. And then, of course, Pumpkinhead follows right after him. He smashes through the window. First thing you do is shoot the big monster. So he shoots the monster, shows that there's no effect, but then he kind of put 2 and 2 together, shot the summoner, Pumpkinhead vanished. So then this is when Ed pops up again, telling him that he is marked forever and there's no place for him to hide. So like Pumpkinhead revives, and it's just like an ending cycle. So the ending of the 4th one though, the summoner realizes of course what he done wrong and wants to take Pumpkinhead down with him. Actually, this time he grabs Pumpkinhead and falls down a well. So this is the first film that does not imply that Pumpkinhead is still alive. That is Pumpkinhead. I would say watch it. It is really cool. It's really adorable. Just like Vengeance. If you want to do like an old horror movie night, I definitely would recommend Pumpkinhead. But anyways, guys, thank you for watching. And again, thank you so much for my previous video. That was a shocker and that was amazing at the same time. Anyways, guys, stay tuned for more of these talks or some of my video games. You all have a wonderful night. Stay creepy and stay tuned. Bye.